Chapter 12, Rivalries. Part 1, No, Naruto-kun, do it again. Right. Sorry, Konan-chan. Naruto was busy practicing a new jutsu that Konan was currently teaching him. He had been doing this for quite some time during the day, and he was left feeling tired and running short of chakra. He didn't know why, but he just couldn't do it. After trying again, but failing, he just fell to the ground with a sigh. I can't do it, Konan-chan. Learning to control paper with Futon chakra is really hard, he replied, puffing for air. Konan sighed softly while walking over to him. She could understand his difficulty for the special ability she has. It was her Kekkei Genkai, and something that she treasured deeply. It's not like she learned how to master paper jutsu in a day. I understand, Naruto-kun, but if you want to learn a new ability, while gaining new tactics to use with me, then you will have to learn how to use this, the woman replied softly, while lying down next to Naruto. They became real comfortable with each other after that small talk they had the night before. It seemed they reached a middle ground and truly felt that everything was all right. With his back to the ground, Naruto looked into the clouds of the bright afternoon sky. It was so peaceful, and not a soul in sight. The wind blew softly between the both of them and made it seem as if there wasn't a care in the world. It's so nice out here today. I wish every day was like this, Naruto said with a smile. Konan turned her head slightly to view him. She broke out into a warm smile before looking back up into the sky. I couldn't agree with you more. Their gazes were fixed on the deep blue canvas as white puffs of cotton floated across the view. The trees shook softly to the rhythm of the wind and left a harmonious atmosphere upon them both. The life seemed to be so thriving and wonderful. A few moments later, a bird chirped in one of the trees, leaving Naruto to sigh in disappointment. I think we should head back to Kakashi-sensei. He might get concerned about us, Naruto said reluctantly. He slowly started pulling himself up when a hand grabbed his sleeve and tugged it. Wait, Naruto-kun. Why don't we just lay here a little bit longer? Konan asked a little desperately. Naruto looked back at her and saw her face before looking back to a general direction and scratching his face. I really don't think we should keep Kakashi-sensei waiting. He tried to get up again before Konan gripped him tighter, this time on the wrist, but, Naruto-kun, she apparently pulled too tight, and it made Naruto stumble before regaining his balance by placing both of his palms on the ground. After getting his bearing back, he realized one thing, Konan-chan. Naruto-kun, he was on top of Konan in a very delicate situation. The woman looked at him with a redness to her face and a silent tongue. Naruto looked down upon her with a certain tint to his own cheeks. Wait a minute, why am I blushing? Think, Naruto, you can't like her. What happened last time was an accident. An accident? But I'm frozen, why can't I get off? That was when he looked at her face. With it being so red, it made her look so cute. She couldn't look any better. She had a natural pale complexion because of her years of staying in a megakure, but now her skin had darkened up a bit, leaving a warmer natural glow and sheen. Maybe that sheen came from being in the heat today? His eyes lowered to her lips. He tried to look away, but they were just so enticing. They were a light shade of pink that slightly sparkled in the sun. They looked so soft and inviting that looking at them only drew him closer to her face. He hasn't kissed a girl before, and the only one he did kiss was the woman that was lying below him. It felt so good, so why shouldn't he do it again? It's not like she wasn't enjoying it the last time, but it's not right. I shouldn't do this. I can't control myself though. But it's not like she's resisting. Maybe just a slight brush against the lips would be okay? Konan's thoughts were along the same lines as Naruto's. This isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this with him. But I can't keep myself from staring at him. I'm so embarrassed. Well, maybe one kiss would be okay? I mean, we have kissed before. Wait a minute, what am I saying? Oh God, he's getting closer. She was gazing at Naruto with soft half-lidded eyes, almost like she has been wanting or waiting for Naruto to do this. She didn't want to fight it because she knew that it felt good the last time. It wasn't like anybody was watching them. She couldn't feel a presence around at all. It only left her wanting his kiss more. Her heartbeat slowly picked up its pace as she stared at his mouth slowly inching its way to hers. Naruto eventually brushed his lips against hers as they both closed their eyes. As soon as the kiss started, it went very slowly and softly. Konan blushed even darker as she brought her hands up to Naruto's broad body. Her left hand went to his hair as he started massaging his scalp. Her other hand went to his back as she felt Naruto's kiss deepen. She softly moaned into Naruto's mouth at the intense sensation. She hasn't kissed in so long, and she forgot just how good it really felt. Naruto-kun. Naruto copied her as he continued kissing her sweet lips. Konan-chan. Naruto-kun, Konan-chan, and Naruto-kun. Whap, Naruto opened his eyes quickly as he pulled himself up. He stretched as he got a look at his surroundings. It was pitch black in the night, the sun wasn't even close to rising yet. He rubbed his eyes rather quickly as he realized Conan hit him moments before. He looked over to see Conan inches away from him. Actually, they were in the same sleeping bag with Naruto's sleeping bag completely empty staring at him from the other side of the tent. Wait a sec, why aren't I in my sleeping bag? Naruto asked while scratching his head. I should ask you the same thing, Conan replied with distaste and arched eyebrows. She folded her arms as Naruto turned his head to view her and started sweating in nervousness. He knew that Conan was mad at him. Something like that was uncalled for, if it was done on purpose. Immediately, Naruto got out of Conan's vicinity as he threw his hands up in defense. Conan-chan, I swear I would never try to sleep in the same bag without permission. Conan blushed faintly at Naruto's poor choice of words before rebutting, whatever, just forget about it. Your hormones have kicked in full force. It's only natural you would try to pull something like that. She pulled the covers back over her body and rolled over to keep herself from facing him, although, contrary to what you may believe, I am not easy. So do yourself a favor and stay in your sleeping bag because next time, I will put you in a full-body paper cast and tie you to a tree. Take this as fair warning. But I didn't. Good night, Naruto-kun. The orange-haired boy sighed in guilt. Yeah, good night, Conan-chan. He rolled over in his sleeping bag facing the opposite of her. He knew that once she put her foot on the ground, she wasn't budging. It didn't seem like she was going to believe him, no matter how hard he pleaded for his innocence. As minutes slowly passed and things got really quiet, he started thinking about the dream he had moments before. He's never had dreams like that, at least none that involved Conan, or making out for that matter. This was something relatively new to him. But, I thought that was really happening. It really felt like I was there, and doing all of that stuff all day. Weird, he didn't want to delve into it any longer, because his Johnny was getting riled up, and he knew that he wouldn't be able to go to sleep if it kept up. Soon after, he closed his eyes and fell into another deep sleep. Conan, however, was wide awake. She couldn't go to sleep. Not after what she experienced, that dream. It felt so real, and Conan blushed hard as she thought about all of those images. Not long after she had that incident in mistaking Naruto for Yuhiko, she has a dream of making out with him again. She couldn't believe the way her mind was acting. Calm down, Conan, it was just a dream. You didn't actually let Naruto have his way with you. She mentally face-palmed herself. What am I thinking? These thoughts should be illegal, they were wrong. How could she start thinking about Naruto in a way like that? She's only supposed to look after his well-being and make sure he is properly trained. Yes, that's right. Friends. Nothing more. Anything further would be considered outrageous. People would look down on her for making it seem like she was taking advantage of him or something. She can't have that. Now that she thinks about it, even the sound of starting a relationship with Naruto is crazy. Conan snorted to herself as she closed her eyes. Yeah, why am I worried? That would never work out anyway. Naruto's the chosen child. I just wouldn't fit in the picture like that. He's the hero, and I'm just a nobody. After feeling satisfied with her answer to herself, she tried to go to sleep. It came a little easier this time as her eyelids fell heavy, but her final thoughts still echoed throughout her mind. He's the hero, and I'm just a nobody, nobody. Some time later, hey, wait. Rikage and his guardians quickly turned to see who called them. I had a feeling you were going to follow us, Karui told him with a scowl. Why don't you just stay away from us? Naruto came to an abrupt stop with a passive and determined look on his face. Conan followed after with the two leaders tailing them to a halt. Sir, I ask you. Please forgive my comrade Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto replied, ignoring Karui, while bowing slightly towards the Rikage. He's been through more than anyone would know. He just wants justice, the justice that is seen through his eyes. The Rikage looked onward silently, before turning with an angry frown. His ignorance is what is causing all of our trouble. Why should we just let go everything that he has done? He has attacked and tried to capture my Jinchuriki. He is a missing nin and a part of Akatsuki as well, am I correct? Naruto nodded silently, but didn't change his attitude. Yes, sir. Then he should be dealt with like any other missing nin should be, killed or captured for ransom. Naruto frowned as he continued. He will most likely be killed for his actions, if we were to catch him, but I am unsure about your village's practices, Rikage told him gruffly. Lord Rikage, Karui said while looking his way, that woman is the person I was talking about, she pointed while looking at Conan. What can we do? Shouldn't she be captured, since she is a part of Akatsuki? I was a part of Akatsuki, Conan replied, but I am no longer. The group no longer served its original purpose. I only realized this after Naruto defeated the leader, so now I have an insurmountable debt that I have to pay to him and the entire Leaf village. It's only right after what I have done. Kakashi then stepped in and placed a hand on Conan's shoulder, slightly startling her. Due to certain circumstances, Conan here is forced to stay a part of the Leaf Village for the rest of her life. She is a slave to the Leaf now and is protected by the Leaf. Therefore, if anything is done to her from any other nation or village, then we, the Leaf, will act accordingly, as if she is a Leaf ninja herself. Ai grunted before turning his head away from them. Either way, she is still scum in my eyes. As for Sasuke Uchiha, he is a threat to my village. I will do whatever it takes to capture him, or kill him. None of your pity or words can stop me. He turned away as his guardians followed him. Karui smirked in victory, because she knew the Rikage would do no such thing. Everyone else was silent. They heard what he was saying, and they knew it was true. Rikage spared no one. He was the type of guy you really didn't want to mess with, although before leaving eyesight, Rikage took one last glance at the strange boy, while he slowly walked away. Naruto frowned even more as he thought about what Ai said. Conan walked over to Naruto and spoke softly. Naruto-kun, you tried. That's what matters the most. I think Rikage was actually hinting something to you earlier. It seemed as though he could understand in a way, if at least what you were going through. Naruto looked awed by what she just said. He hinted something? Yes, Conan replied while softly smiling. He said that his village would surely kill Sasuke if they had a chance, but he also said that he didn't know if the Leaf would actually follow through with killing him at all. He could be suggesting that if a Leaf village caught him first, then maybe you would actually have a true chance in saving him. She's telling the truth, Naruto, Kakashi responded while looking over to his student. Sasuke may get put in solitary, but he will still be alive. It's just the point of getting him back to the Leaf village that will be a problem, but it is possible. Naruto contemplated those words, before grinning with another determined face. Then that means that I can't give up yet. I still have a chance. I'm not giving up on Sasuke. Conan smiled at Naruto's antics. He seemed to really care about his friends. It just amazed Conan to no end how Naruto would try to rescue a fallen friend. Friendships were very valuable things and Conan knew that firsthand. If either of her friends were alive, then maybe she would have done the same thing? No, there is no question. If she would do the same thing, she would help her friends to the end. If she would have known earlier of Nagato's stress and pain, then maybe she could have prevented all of this. But the past is truly the past. Nothing can be changed, except for the future. I hope we can turn this around. This disaster has gone on long enough. Yahiko, Nagato, please help us. Good, then I think we should continue our trek, but first I think a stop in the town close by is in order, Kakashi said in slight humor. Everyone nodded their heads in agreement and dashed. Cabin. Well, this place looks pretty cozy. To be in the snow like this, Naruto said as he walked in. Conan walked in behind Kakashi as he looked over to Naruto. Well, it's not that bad. It will be better than our last sleeping arrangement, that's for sure. Naruto looked around before he sat down on the floor. The walls echoed an eerie silence that seemed to penetrate his eardrums constantly. This room was as empty as the streets at night in Konoha. But everything was so clean and spotless that it didn't really matter that it was empty. After looking around, but finding nothing really important, Naruto heard Kakashi speak up. Conan, watch after Naruto, while Yamato and myself finish up the arrangements to the cabin. It will only take us a few minutes. He did one last eye smile before he disappeared into the snow with a silent Yamato. Naruto did the only thing he could do. He fell backwards onto the tatami mats and crossed his arms underneath his head. The truth was that he was just too in thought about Sasuke. Why would he do something like this? Why not just come back? It was so easy, and everyone would eventually forgive him. Why not come home? Are you thinking about Sasuke? Naruto turned his head and saw Conan. She had a slight look of concern in her eyes, which surprised him. He just sighed. How did you know? Came his disheartened voice, but didn't change his body position. Well, it's not really hard to figure out, she started while walking over to Naruto and sitting beside him. Is this the reason why we came out this way? Are you trying to find Sasuke and bring him back to your home? His home? After contemplating, Naruto sighed. I just don't understand him anymore, Conan-chan. What do you not understand, Naruto-kun? She replied before lying down next to him in a similar pose. Hearing his thoughts about Sasuke was really intriguing, and she couldn't pass up on it. She's seen the deranged boy a few times and knew that he was experiencing something within his mind that was driving him mad. It's just that he used to be an okay guy. Now he has left with only a desire to kill. Conan listened with rapt attention. But, I know he really doesn't want to do that. Naruto's eyelids lowered. No one would. No matter how hard their life was. I know this may be none of my business, the Jonin started, but wasn't there a time when you used to be shunned? Didn't you feel any hatred towards anyone? Enough hatred to kill? I'm sure it wasn't easy having the Leaf's hatred on your shoulders. Naruto laid there in silence looking into space with sadness in his demeanor. His heart lightly ached from the past that he never wanted to bring up again. Well, when I was younger and didn't know much, of course I was angry at everyone who was mean to me. I couldn't stand it. He clenched his fists very tightly before relaxing them again, but I always eventually got over it because of the few people that actually did understand and helped me. A slight chuckle escaped his lips. At the time, I really didn't know why people were so mean to me. I always thought it was because they thought I was a bad kid because I lived on my own. But now I know that wasn't true. It was because I had the demon fox sealed within my body. I carried the burden. You must have been scared, weren't you? Conan asked softly, with her eyesight looking dead at him. He looked over to her and saw something. He saw another side of Conan. She looked genuinely concerned for Naruto and didn't seem like she was faking at all. In a way, he was happy that she actually cared. It made him understand her a little better. His lips curved upward before he started speaking again. I was at that time, but I've learned since then. I can't totally blame them for their misunderstanding. We are all just people after all. None of us can really be perfect. But, at least we can try. He laughed with a grin before looking back at Conan. Conan smiled at the boy's antics. He never let anything get him down. He always looked so confident. It just really brought up her mood. I'm sorry for interrupting, but are you quite finished? A dark voice interrupted as both Naruto and Conan shot their attention to the speaker. They stared at him momentarily as he held a bored posture with his chin resting on his hand. Kaboom. Silly Naruto, you know Rasengan doesn't work on me, the masked figure replied as he stood on the roof by the protruding hole in the ceiling. Naruto was all of a sudden pushed back as Conan ruffled her papers on her skin. They started peeling off and whirling around her figure as she bore her eyes into his. Madara, the man only looked at her with a scoff. Oh, so you've grown an attachment to the boy now, I see. How sweet. The woman didn't say anything as she lowered her eyelids in more distaste. Her anger was so deep. Just even looking at this man again caused her to almost go insane and attack him on the spot. There was only a tiny amount of restraint that was keeping her at bay. It was that little nagging voice that told her that nothing would work on him. Not at the moment anyway. She was unprepared. Suddenly, wood sprouted from every direction as it encased Naruto into a wooden cell. What the hell? His eyes looked up and saw Madara constricted in wood. Kakashi-sensei. We won't let you get your hands on Naruto that easily, Madara, Kakashi told the masked man with his Sharingan blaring and a kunai to the masked man's throat. Madara held no emotion but simply told them, you should already know that physical attacks do not work on me. Well, I don't know if you are a projection, Yamato replied while maintaining eye contact, but I do know that you need to be physically solid in order to grab Naruto, so I'm just waiting for that moment. Big solid blocks of wood started to slowly rise from the ground by Yamato's wood jutsu, as if waiting to strike. I didn't come here to fight, Toby told him nonchalantly. I have my own plans in motion and I can't ruin it with some light squabbles such as this. I just came to talk. To talk? Of what? Kakashi was wary as he held the kunai closer to Toby's throat. About Nagato. Naruto, I am very curious. How did you get Nagato to betray me? I don't care about your stupid questions. The boy replied with clenched teeth. Where's Sasuke? What did you do to him? What do you want from him? Sasuke, The masked man replied, as if in thought, okay, I'll tell you all about Sasuke Uchiha. About the boy with so much hatred for the Leaf and carries the Uchiha's burden.
End of chapter 12.